Hi, this is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast, where CEOs, COOs, and business owners share strategies for better success. This is 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best strategies are concise business advice. And so let's just get right to it with our guest today with question number one. In a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Hayden Wadsworth. I'm currently the CEO and co-founder at HydroJug. And as far as what I do, I wear a lot of hats, especially in the beginning. I was in the day-to-day and execution level. As we've scaled, I have moved more into a high-level role, overseeing some marketing, customer support, all things accounting and legal, and project management in warehousing and as far as our website goes as well. So still wear a lot of those hats. They are more from a high level management perspective now though.
I often talk to clients about, an entrepreneur is always quitting lower jobs for higher jobs or lower
Yeah.
tasks for higher tasks. So that's great. So, question number two, through all that experience, what's the best thing about being a business leader?
So for me personally, the best thing is developing people. Early on, I was really focused on the customers and them having a great experience, how to please them from product and all of that. Now it has shifted focuses more to my employees and the leaders inside my business and how I develop them and help them be more successful. And it's really fulfilling to see them grow and see the results that they have over their respective units inside the company.
They become almost like family or children sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So question number three then. I hear from other business leaders that their people strategy is often more challenging than their actual business strategy in laying out and running their business. Your thoughts on that?
In my personal opinion, I think it really just depends on your personality type. Some people are more inclined being extroverted and being like a people person, where they connect more on emotional level. So it really just depends. For me personally, I'm more of a introverted and like numbers guy and strategy guy as far as business goes. So it is a little more difficult for me to do the personnel and management style type things, but I do enjoy it. I enjoy doing things that make me uncomfortable and challenge me to learn new things and work towards them. So, and I think that's important for any leader, no matter whether they're more inclined to numbers or more inclined to people. Whatever it is, they need to be continuously working towards something. So I enjoy it.
I think that's a great philosophy and very true. I mean, you can work around your personality, but obviously you have to be aware and, like you said, kind of stretch yourself and take on those different areas so that you
Mhm.
can grow into them. Great. So, question number four, what strategy would you like to share with other business leaders?
Yeah, so this one has to do with kind of what we mentioned in the prior question as far as personnel strategy. And the approach that we've taken here is approach that I take it on a personal level as well, and it's Kaizen. So basically, what that is, it's a Japanese term for continuous improvement, and it's continuous improvement through small, attainable actions that you can be consistent in. It's really easy as a business leader to want to say, "Hey, for my marketing team, I want them to generate $10 million worth of revenue." Um, and think that's a good goal because it's ambitious and optimistic, all those types of things. When Kaizen would tell you to take that goal and maybe look at it over a certain period of time, and then chop that goal up into really small, attainable steps. And I mean, this specific example is to revenue, but this can be to developing your leaders on a professional or a personal level where they want to make a change in their life or a change in how they are managing or working on projects. And you take those goals and you condense them down. So we'll take annual goals, for example, and or 5-year goals and break them down into yearly, quarterly, monthly, and even weekly on some of them just to make sure that there's that continuous improvement, and people don't feel overwhelmed by a massive quarterly goal. It's like, hey, I have to do these things this week to make sure I'm successful this week. So I think it's a really good approach, both personally, professionally, and as far as like from a leadership standpoint as well, making those really good ambitious goals, but being able to reverse engineer them into small attainable goals.
Well, the other factor in that, going back to the people side of things, is you're constantly giving feedback, because if you're working on a weekly or a bi-weekly goal, you're getting feedback weekly or bi-weekly rather than at the end of the year.
Exactly.
And we all need that feedback to, one, stay on task, but two, to work on that continuous improvement, like you said. So, and it sounds like it's been very successful for you guys. You guys, have been growing and doing really well, it sounds like.
Yeah, we've experienced a lot of growth, especially this year with all of the strange things that have been happening. But yeah, as far as once we got our manufacturers back up and running, it's been a great year. So I mean, it did take a while, and there were curveballs, but we've been able to grow both on the sales and revenue side as well as the personnel side. So it's been a good year.
That's great to hear. So question number 5, what other successful business owners, CEOs like yourself, would you like to maybe acknowledge, do a shout out to, or you think would be good on the podcast?
So that's something I actually do need to improve on, is my network. I have been so busy inside of like the day-to-day business, and now transitioning into more of management, but I haven't had or allocated the right amount of time to expand my network, and actually seek out like a mentor, people in similar situations as me. I do a lot of reading and listen to like podcasts, so I do learn from other people that have been successful in leadership right now. One that I'm reading about that is really great is Ray Dalio. He was the founder of Bridgewater. So, I mean, but his principles, and that's the book. It's called Principles. But he really looks at. He takes like the approach he took to investments, the same approach he takes to people, and it's really cool how he dissects being a successful leader. So I mean, I'm learning a ton from that book. But yeah, I think as far as like locally or people I know in my similar situation, it's something I can definitely do better at.
Well, like you said, it's all about continuous improvement, but that is a good book. And, those are great places to learn, whether it's books or podcasts, as you mentioned. So, so just kind of a final fun question. The 6th question, tell me about one of your favorite past boss.
Yeah, I think this was at my the last job that I had. It just kind of explaining him on a high level, definitely a person that values relationships, wants to be involved in his employees lives, like if the employee wants that. So if they need support personally, or they just need it professionally, like super willing to do that, and aware of how his how his employees are doing, and also operated on trust. It wasn't any type of micromanagement. It was very much, here's your workload, here's how to do it, and if you don't know how, I'm here to help. And then very clear communication. So like we discussed about the continuous like feedback and making sure your employees know where they're at. It's just so important to have very clear communication. So whether that's expectations up front and then follow up, I think it's really important to make sure that you over communicate as a leader. So yeah, just building trust and relationships is definitely a major key, and something I learned from him early on in my career.
That's awesome. And it makes a huge difference when you feel like somebody cares about you, is concerned about developing you as an individual and understands you. That makes a huge difference as how you feel about a boss. So,
for
Well,
sure.
it is great having you on and hearing your insights. Before we leave, can you tell people how they can get a hold of you or link up with you?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn. My handle is Hayden Wadsworth, and then I also have an Instagram. It's Hayden HAYDEN .wads WADS. So there in the comments or DM, I'm pretty responsive there. So
Well, again, I appreciate you being on. Great to hear from you. And this is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast. And for more insights, you can follow us on LinkedIn or at Weaver Business Coaching. And you can also listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. And we wish you the best success.